Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers, James and Justin, back again with another reaction. And we're going to take another look at the Bible Project by request. And this video is called Understand How the Holy Spirit Works in the Bible.
That's a good piece of information to have. The Bible Project's good. They make good animations.
That's right. So let's dive in.
If you've ever heard the phrase, the Holy Spirit, and you want to know what it means, where do you start?
Well, you have to start on page 1 of the Bible, where the uncreated world is depicted as this dark, chaotic place. But then above the chaos, God's Spirit is there, hovering, ready to bring about life and order and beauty.
Okay, but what is God's Spirit?
Yeah, so the Spirit is the way the biblical authors talk about God's personal presence. The Hebrew word is ruach.
Ruach.
Yeah, you gotta clear your throat at the end.
So what is it?
Well, ruach can refer to a number of different things, but what they all have in common is energy.
Energy, how so?
So there's an invisible energy that makes the clouds move or the tree branches sway.
Right, wind.
So in Hebrew, that's ruach.
Okay.
Now take a big breath. So you feel that inside you.
Yeah, the air?
Well, specifically the energy, right? The vitality in your body that you get from breathing deeply, that too is ruach. And this is the same word used in the Bible to describe God's personal presence. Just like wind and breath are invisible, God's Spirit is invisible. Wind is powerful, and so God's Spirit is powerful. And just as breath keeps us alive, so God's Spirit sustains all of life.
Yeah.
So, a couple things. A theme that seems to be coming up time and time again lately is this idea of goodness or consciousness or the divine, something evolving out of nothing. This started with like a blank slate of darkness, and then the Spirit of God came in and started to light everything up. It seems to just again be this trend that we're seeing, and maybe it just is a sign to all of humanity that we're growing into something. Our understanding of what is evolving and what we find is truly good, because it's called the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And even I think from like the Christian idea of holiness, we're talking about the purest form of righteousness, the purest form of something good. Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to, from my understanding, where I'm coming from spiritually, make sense of this.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. I think that's a good observation to make, and it is sort of represented in the animation like that too, of everything lighting up, life coming to the earth upon a dark earth or whatever. And I think that it's going to be pertinent also that the way they described ruach as the spirit or as like wind or the animating force. That first key word. I think that they're going to expand on that.
Ruach.
Now, as we continue on in the story of the Bible, we see God's Ruach giving special empowerment to people for specific tasks. The first person in the Bible this happens to is Joseph.
God's Spirit enables him to understand and interpret dreams.
And then it happens to this guy named Bezalel, and he's an artist.
God's Spirit empowers him with wisdom and skills. He's given creative genius to make beautiful things in the tabernacle.
And we also see God's Ruach empower a group of people called the prophets.
They're able to see what's happening in history from God's point of view.
That's exactly right. And here's the problem as the prophets saw it. While God's Ruach had created a really good world, humans have given in to evil. They've unleashed chaos into it through their injustice.
A new type of disorder.
Yes, and the prophet said the Spirit would come, just like in Genesis 1, but now to transform the human heart, to empower people to truly love God and others.
How will this new act of God's Spirit happen?
Well, centuries pass, and we are introduced to Jesus. And at the beginning of his mission, there's this beautiful scene where Jesus is being baptized in the waters of the Jordan River.
Yeah, the sky opens up and God's Spirit comes and rests on him like a bird.
This story is saying that God's Spirit is empowering Jesus to begin the new creation. And we see this happening when he heals people or forgives their sins. He's creating life where there once was death.
Now, Israel's religious leaders oppose Jesus, and they eventually have him killed.
But even here, God's Spirit is at work. The earliest disciples of Jesus, who saw him alive from the dead, said it was God's energizing spirit that raised Jesus.
This is the beginning of new creation.
Yes, and it's still going. When Jesus appeared to his closest followers, he breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit."
And soon after that, the Spirit powerfully comes on all of his disciples.
So that they can become a part of this new creation and share the good news and learn how to live by the energy and influence of God's Spirit.
And so today, the Spirit is still hovering in dark places.
Yes, pointing people to Jesus, transforming and empowering them so they can love God and others. And the Christian hope is that the Spirit is going to finish the job. The story of the Bible ends with a vision of a new humanity, living in a new world that's permeated with God's love and life-giving Spirit.
Wow. Those little diamonds over their head reminded me of remember the game The Sims?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a beautiful scene there when Jesus has the Spirit descend on him like a dove. And then I forgot about the part where he breathed on them.
Yeah.
That's significant in some way.
Yeah. Like, I know the traditional way of looking at this. And if you watch our channel, we like to, come up with some abstract different ways of trying to, look at these things. And I was just thinking, because if you take that word give and, that can become like an ego thing. Well, why not me? Why wasn't it given to me? What if it's more of a, when it's ready to be unearthed, when it's ready to spark, it will spark. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rather than looking for it, it's it's more of cultivating proper soil for it to emerge.
Yeah. Yes. I totally do think that.
So just a different kind of a view on it. And then another thing to note there is that it's always there. The darkness and the light were always together. It was kind of, maybe it's not animating it, but it was always hovering over. It even said near the end there, even in the dark places, the Spirit is moving around, and that one day everyone will eventually, have it, and will usher in this new era. Maybe that is the golden age to come. I'm all for that, man. I'm yeah,
for sure. That's something to aim for.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is interesting. Just that ever-present dichotomy between the darkness and the light.
Yeah. Well, guys, if you liked our reaction on this video, please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone, until next time,
stay spiritual.